Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name's Andrew Mensch. I'm the manager at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, New Jersey Properties, West Essex Regional Office in Verona, New Jersey. I'm coming to you tonight largely because I've heard from friends and colleagues and from past clients who are concerned about the real estate market. We want to be, at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, we want to be your trusted advisor. We want to be the person you can go to, like your financial advisor, who you go to talk to about your financial holdings. And for most people, their home is their most valuable asset. So whether you're here looking for comfort in the real estate market and what's going on with your home, like someone with a 401k, I mean, I kind of see this as almost like a 40-year-old looking at their 401k, making sure it's all right, even though they're not going to tap into it for several years, but they just want to make sure, gives them the comfort level that things are okay. Or if you're a buyer or a seller, looking to buy or sell or refinance, just to give you an idea of what's going on in the market. It certainly is historically a different market than it's ever been before due to COVID-19. And I hope also as we start that everyone here is healthy and your friends and family are healthy and safe. So before I start, I want to introduce everybody to Chris Brown. Chris is the president of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, New Jersey Properties.
Thank you, Andrew. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second market update for the West Essex region. A big thank you to Andrew and to Sarah for putting this event together tonight. We trust and hope everyone is safe, as Andrew said. My name is Chris Brown. I'm president of Berkshire Hathaway New Jersey Properties. Before I begin, I thought it would be helpful for you to know a little bit about who we are. We have been a real estate company in one form or another since 1954. We currently have 19 offices stretching from Morris County to Monmouth County and from Essex County to Hunterdon County. We have over 850 sales professionals, as well as a relationship with Prosperity Home Mortgage and Associated Title. So you can see we cover a large portion of the New Jersey market, but for tonight, we will bring you a more focused snapshot of the Essex County marketplace. It's been nearly 3 months, believe it or not, since the stay-at-home order was issued and all of our lives changed. The first 6 weeks as a company, we were all just trying to figure out what the real estate market would look like moving forward. And while we are still not 100% clear, we do have some data to share with you tonight that looks both optimistic and encouraging. As we are all aware, the country is beginning to open back up, and here in New Jersey, the same thing is happening. A little slower, a little more cautiously, but we are reopening nonetheless. Like many of you, we have been hosting Zoom meetings multiple times a week with our management team, as well as our agents, to keep everyone updated and focused on serving those that need and want to buy real estate. At the same time, we have been focused on keeping everyone safe in the process, following the CDC guidelines and working with everyone at their comfort level. This seems to be working, as you will see, as both buyers and sellers are beginning to re-enter the market. As you might know, real estate was given essential status by the governor back in late March, and we have been cautiously trying to help people with their real estate needs ever since. All of us have been learning as we go, but always taking care to keep everyone as safe as possible by wearing masks, gloves, physical distancing as needed. We also are taking full advantage of the virtual tools that are available to us. At this point, we can actually sell a house, and list a listing, I should say, with nobody actually leaving their current home. That's pretty cool. We couldn't do that 8, 9 months ago, or if we could, nobody knew how. While public open houses are still not allowed, we host virtual open houses weekly, as well as by appointment only in person as needed. The good news is that sales and new listings are taking place and building weekly. Those that are comfortable with the measures we have put in place are either coming out and seeing houses that they first viewed online, or making appointments with our team to individually view a home in person, creating a much more focused buyer experience. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We look forward to answering your questions and serving you in the near future. I'll turn it back to Andrew for the presentation. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks, Chris. And if anybody does have questions, if you could please type them into the chat area, that would be great. We'll be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So as Chris was saying, we have 19 offices and over 800 agents, and this gives you a map of where we are. This is the area that we're talking about here today in West Essex County, New Jersey. And as Chris was saying, we go as far south as Seagirt, we go out to Hunterdon County, and go as north is where we are in Caldwell, Morris County, and Livingston. So to start off, we're going to talk about listings and sales. We're going to talk about safety and keeping everybody safe, which is more important than the home sales. And we're going to talk about the future of the market.
You see, it's not connecting, though, Jay.
So the Western Essex County market, the towns we're going to be talking about tonight are Bloomfield, Caldwell, Cedar Grove, Essex Fells, Fairfield, Livingston, Montclair, North Caldwell, Roseland, Verona, West Caldwell, and West Orange. All the data that we're using tonight is from the Garden State Multiple Listing Service and from our own data that we collect from our own home sales within Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. So let's talk about a non-COVID market first. What generally happens in a market is these are new listings that come on the market. The market usually starts right after the spring market, usually starts right after Super Bowl. Somehow that's become the unofficial start to the spring market. And depending on weather and depending on interest rates and the market in general, we usually have an increase in activity all the way through April, May, and June. These are numbers from last year. And then it tapers off in July and August when people are sometimes off on vacation. We also now contracts come into that as well. And the other deadline that people are looking for when they're looking to close is often if they've got children, they want to be in for early September so they get their children in for the new school year. When people are back from their vacations and are more focused, we've got a little bit more activity in September and October and into November before we start the holiday season when people are focused on their families and shopping for gifts that are a little bit less expensive than a house. So that's the typical market that we have. So I've been tracking numbers since the beginning of the COVID outbreak. I started on the week of March 1st, and these were, as of my last update, which was on the 29th of April, here's where the numbers were. We saw where numbers fell very quickly as the governor's orders came in. This is where Berkshire Hathaway Home Services closed our offices right here around the 15th of the month. And the numbers really came down and stayed low for a while. And we were encouraged slightly because numbers were starting to come up and starting to improve by the end of April. So what's happened since then is that the trend has continued. And we're very happy to report that the new listings coming on the market are back to the same level that they were when the COVID crisis started in early March. Following this trend with weekly contracts, now these are people who have made the decision to make an offer on a house. The buyer and seller have come together, so it shows that that they're comfortable enough to make a significant investment in real estate. And as you would imagine, as COVID started, that number fell, as I would expect it to. And again, the number was coming back up, and has again significantly improved since our last time that we spoke at the end of April. The next number is weekly closings. Closings are a little bit different because a lot of these closings, took place because of contracts that happened before COVID. So the numbers aren't really that measurable as contracts and closings. But you see, toward the end of every month, you have a spike in closings because of people who want to close at the end of the month. Again, that number has remained steady, which is encouraging. I mean, the market overall here, our number of contracts are down about 27% from the same time period in the first 5 months of 2019. Sorry, for 2019 versus 2020. It's a number that's a tough number to deal with, but it's certainly better and more encouraging than what we were expecting. So the last number that we looked at was the number of weekly withdrawals, and again, opposite of the number of homes that came on the market that fell, were the number of people that decided to take their houses off the market right as the stay-at-home order came into place. People were nervous. We hadn't talked about our plans for how to show houses yet safely because we hadn't developed them yet. We were in the development phase, and people rightfully didn't want to have people in their houses. But as our plans came out and as people became more comfortable in this, the number fell back down to a level that's remained fairly steady since then. There are always going to be withdrawals from the market, people changing their minds, not deciding not to sell, maybe someone who's a relocation job offer that's been rescinded, so they're staying in their house. Someone has just had a second thought and decided that it's not the right time to move. So those will always have. But what was so unusual is having so many, and thankfully those fell back very quickly. So here's what the COVID market is we have, when you see it all put together, you've got the same dip all the way down till the middle of April when things started to improve. And we're encouraged again by the fact that things are certainly getting better than they were just a few months ago. So new listings in the COVID cycle, this is 2019 versus 2020. So if you look at the burgundy lines, these are how the listings should be coming on the market in a normal non-COVID market. But you saw with COVID the way they dropped off in April and they're coming back in May. Obviously, we don't have June numbers yet because we're only partway through the month. Under contracts, we're similar. With they would rise normally, like I had shown in the earlier chart, but again they fell off and we're coming back strongly into May and June, which I think June is going to be a real. We've seen already June is a real turnaround month. Next, we have an early look at prices. One of the issues in real estate is that when you are going on a listing appointment, when I'm talking to somebody about the price of their home, I'm looking at data from a sale that happened 2 months ago, from a buying decision that happened 4 months ago. So although I'm pricing a house today, I'm pricing it based on data that's always a little bit of a lag. Unlike something like the stock market, where something good or bad happens in a company, and a stock will either fall or rise very quickly. Our reporting is always 2 or 3 months behind because that's how long it takes for a house to close. So what we have is our early look on prices, and what we did is we're looking at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, New Jersey properties, homes that are in contract. So these are real-time prices that we see. And what we see is the calendar year 2019, our average price was just under $500,000. And that dipped a little bit in January, came up a little bit in February, and it stayed relatively steady. Now, the numbers are going to change every month, partially due to the market, but partially because we sell different houses every month and we have different numbers. And that's what you're going to find when we're talking about our 3 West Essex offices, which is my office in Verona, our office in Montclair, and our office in Livingston. And what we're finding is the numbers are very steady, and there are 2 high months here that are very high, and those are due to the fact that the luxury market is alive and well and is actually selling houses. So people are selling not only inexpensive houses and moderately priced houses, but the expensive homes are selling as well. Between our 3 offices, we've had multiple sales in these 2 months in particular of homes that are well over $1 million. So that's all encouraging numbers from the market. So Sarah Vajul is going to join us. Sarah is from Prosperity Home Mortgage, and Sarah, would you like to is here to talk about mortgages? It's all
Hi,
yours.
thanks, Andrew. Thank you for having me. This slide, it obviously shows the comparison of interest rates from 2008 to today. And as you can see, with the interest rates being so low, a buyer can qualify for much more of a house today versus 2008. This just goes to Andrew's point of how solid the market has been, and with the interest rates so low. Okay. Next slide. Thanks. This also continues the theme as far as the standard loan limits for Fannie Mae has increased greatly, which gives a borrower even more flexibility with products. So instead of having to get a jumbo mortgage for $510,000 or $765,000, they can now get a regular conforming Fannie Mae loan, which gives them a lot more flexibility in pricing, in products, and houses. So with all of this happening right now, we're seeing a shortage of or less homes on the market, which is causing a lot of multiple bid opportunities. So this is unusual in this type of market, but what we're seeing now is that because there are multiple offers on homes, we want to be able to provide a borrower or your buyer to be able to qualify for a property in these situations. So this product will give a buyer a stronger negotiating power by providing a full mortgage commitment as well as putting the listing agent and the seller at ease, knowing that this person who's trying to purchase their home is very qualified for the product and qualified to purchase the house, which when a multiple bid situation will put people at ease to purchase the home. There's good news. Interest rates are at the lowest they've been in 50 years, which, as you saw from the previous slides, even compared to 2008, giving a buyer the ability to purchase more of a home. Credit score minimum requirements have been,
Go ahead.
Credit score minimum requirements have been reduced for most products to what they were prior to the virus. Debt to income restrictions have been increased in certain circumstances. Additional new products such as HELOCs up to a 95 combined loan to value, jumbo products have been reintroduced back into the market as well. Additionally, the New Jersey State Bond Program is back in play as well with the $10,000 down payment assistance program, which goes with that. So several of the tighter credit restrictions are temporary, and now it's a great time to list a house and purchase a home. A couple things you want to keep in mind. Obviously, the unemployment numbers have been higher than we've ever seen. But the fallout due to the job loss so far has been less than anticipated, which is good for both. What we need to keep an eye on both self-employed borrowers and non-self-employed borrowers. We need to validate that borrowers are back working. And for a self-employed borrower, that we need to show that they have active business with an income stream. Even if borrowers have been out of work and they go back to work, this job gap will not prevent them from qualifying for a loan. So what buyers should be doing, 4 things to remember. Obviously, continue to make your payments, continue to make your mortgage payment and other obligations if you can. Keep good records of your finances, your income, your assets. If you did go on unemployment or if you did have to use a forbearance. It's now more than ever to talk to your mortgage consultant and your real estate agent for guidance to ensure that you stay on the right path in this market. It's very turbulent right now and you need all the help you can get. So you want to engage both a real estate agent and a mortgage consultant early on in the process before you look at a house so that you know that you can qualify for the home and you can present a stronger offer when you're ready to purchase the house.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for that great information. Really appreciate it. It's really amazing what's going on with mortgages now. Now, I'd like to talk to you now about how we are conducting business in the COVID world. We're using Zoom technology as many people do in their business and personal lives. We also work with MoxieWorks, which is a great platform that Berkshire Hathaway uses in order to do listing presentations, buyer presentations, walkthroughs of area tours before anybody comes out, gets in a car, or goes anywhere near a house. We use ZipForm Plus, which is a leading realtor platform that's used for electronic signatures and communication, and a company that we work with at Berkshire Hathaway called Videolicious that enables us to do quick tours of homes. We can use these, post these on the internet, we can put them in social media, email these to our clients, and put them as part of the virtual tours that we've been doing at our Berkshire Hathaway Home Services New Jersey Properties website at bhhsnj.com. Now, next is something interesting that's amazing. Google Earth is a great platform for this. We currently we're doing Google Earth tours of towns. We've developed a few of them now. We're in the process of developing them. And the way this works is this is going to be a tour of Verona. And I'll go through the first few pieces of it. So what happens is we're going to start off the tour by showing how close Verona is to New York, being only 22 miles from Manhattan. Next, we're illustrating how close we are to Newark Airport, which is close to the town as well. And then we go on to go to the heart of Bloomfield Avenue and the heart of Verona, where we're showing the street with the main shopping area. We talked about some census data, information about the town before we move on to Verona Park and other great features in the town. So right here we've got Verona Park, and within each stop, we often have right there's a link that if someone wants to go to the park and learn more about the park, they can. And then we go from there to Hilltop Reservation, which is another feature of the town. And then the last one I'll stop at just for the tour for now is we go through our community pool. And again, there's a link to the community pool. Before I go on to talk about the schools that we have in Verona. So we do this for each of the towns. I've done 3 of these so far. We're in the process of doing more. And it's another great way that we can make people aware of towns and what they're looking at before they even come back or coming out to potentially go out and see homes. So next, what I was going to say is that what's going on for the buyer? We're doing face-to-face meetings are now mask-to-mask meetings following CDC rules. We're using Zoom, as I said before, FaceTime, Facebook Live, Moxie virtual showings, which is I had mentioned. Of course, we're doing email and phone consultations, a lot more of them than we were doing before. Virtual tours of homes that are available at BHHSNJ.com. There'll be a link when you go onto there to see what those look like. For the home seller, we're using many of the same materials. We're using something called Matterport. We do 3D touchscreen videos with floor plans of homes and a video that you can actually, it's a touchscreen, you can actually walk through the house and see different attributes of the home. So many of our homes have that. Digital floor plans. We're using waivers signed by the entrants, that is by buyers and sellers, to make sure that everybody's safe. And of course, cloud transaction management with auto-fillable agreements and contracts so we can do digital signatures. So the look for 2020 and beyond is that sellers are returning to the market now. We're seeing more and more of those come back. Rates are remaining low and should remain low through 2022. Prices are holding and they're increasing. So it's a good time to sell. And there's pent-up demand, and the demand is being satisfied as our new normal begins. So the challenges that we have is we have continued high unemployment that hopefully will be reduced soon, but still that stands in the way of a lot of people. Either they're unemployed or underemployed with pay cuts or furloughs, where it's making them tough to buy properties and homes. That's one issue. And potentially we've got spikes in COVID-19 locally or nationally as things open up. And as it happens every 4 years, we have a presidential election year, which somehow seems to factor into somehow people's feeling about whether or not it's the right time to buy a house. And I will say this not as a Democrat or as a Republican, but in 30 years in real estate, the difference of who the president is in the next 4 years has made very little difference in the real estate market if you're buying something long term. So I don't really think that that's something that should be a factor, but obviously people weigh that sometimes, and that's up to them. But the most important part of all of this is we want to make sure that everybody in the public is safe. We're talking about our agents, our employees, and our buyers and our sellers. Safety comes first, and we want to make sure that homes are sold correctly for the right price in the right way, but we want to make sure that everybody is safe and taking care of themselves. It's a challenging market. It's a tough market. We've got appraisal issues that have come up. We've got home inspection issues that are new. So it's not as easy to sell homes as it has been in the past, and it's always good to have a trusted advisor like Berkshire Hathaway Home Services with you to help you on your way, whether you're working as a buyer or as a seller. So if anybody has any questions about any of this or would like to speak about anything in their specific town, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is 862-432-2771. I look forward to speaking with you soon, and I hope you all remain healthy and safe.